I'm just going to do a live video here. Let me get my camera set and get an idea here. Just a second. I'm going to be on the... Claire? I'm going to be on doing a video, so... I'm going to be doing I'm on live video right now, so... Okay. Alright, guys. Sometimes it's just easier for me to do a live video than it is to just to do a video and download it. But I wanted to go over a few things with O-rings right now. This is the last batch of O-rings that I ordered here. You can see on some of these here that they're metric Buna grade O-rings right here. Say like a 1.5 by 1 millimeter, and this is the price I paid and all that. And then you come up here and you see these here, right here, that aren't metric. These are just regular dimensions. Matter of fact, it doesn't even give the dimensions. And that would be the, say for instance, here's the metric O-rings right here. I get my O-rings from O-rings and more. I've had good luck with them. All right, now, so what I did, I'm going to use this for example. This is a part number 005 here, okay? And I got on the website and I looked it up. This is a 7/32 outer diameter, 3/32 inner diameter, and a 1/16 cord size. That means the thickness of your cord. All right. Now these are X rings here, but the reason I get these is because then what I do is I go in and I translate that, or I kind of like, you know, get a little program off the internet and I get it to where I know the metric size. So this is basically a 7/32, and I just kind of, it's 5.55 something something, you know, it's not perfect, but then it's like the inner diameter is 2.38, then the cord size is 1.58. Whereas these here are more or less, the reason I buy these is, I guess, let me see, the reason I buy these is I might be able to get a cord size that's in between for a particular lighter that the metric size is either too big or too small for. So that's why I go with some of these here. Like this here is a 5.519 outer diameter, 1.98 inner diameter, and a 1.58 cord size. So in order to have a little variety, you want to order some of your standard size O-rings and some of your metric size O-rings, so that when you measure something, you're going to have a better chance of finding an O-ring that's in between here, your standard metric size. Now I had one lighter out of the hundreds that I've seen that I didn't have an O-ring for it because it was between. I needed an O-ring, it was between, let's just say for instance, there's a 1 millimeter, this is a 3 millimeter, it's 1 by 1. And what that means is it's a 1 millimeter cord thickness, okay, with a 1 millimeter internal diameter, which gives it a 3 millimeter OD. Okay, then you got this one here, which is, these are actually, I bought some of these because these are new. I could never ever find anything that was, it was usually 1 and 1.5. Okay, I could never ever find this 1.15 or this 1.25. They actually found some, there's what I usually got. See, 1.5 right here, and this here is a 1. This is all I can get before, but now I'm able to get a little bit smaller, and I get a couple sizes in between. You have to have a big variety of a large variety of O-rings, but the most common, when it comes to O-rings, the most common O-rings I got that I use basically are right here on my shelf. Okay, and all these come out of China. This here is a 2.4 millimeter OD, and it has a 0.4 cord size. When you're working on like Cleveland drill flames and certain Ronson lighters and certain lighters like this, crown lighters that they have valve systems in that has very, very small size O-rings, you have to buy some of these ones out of China, to make sure that you have the right size O-rings. But anyway, this here, all these O-rings here cost me $50 and something right here. There's 25 pieces. Some of these other smaller ones like this, I ordered 100 pieces. And I've got some. Let me just pop out O-rings that I have here. Now I want to go through some of these O-rings for you too, and show you what you need and what you don't need. Okay, you guys out there that are in lighter repair, I want to show you what you need, what you don't need. Now these here are standard size. These are larger O-rings here as far as the cord size goes. These are like maybe a 1.5 millimeters. You're not going to use very many of these, okay? And these are, you see where it says this is the size of the O-ring here, 0004 or 004, I can't remember, but this is 70D. That means 70 durometer. Now you don't want anything more than 70 durometer. You don't want 80 or 90. All right. And the reason is, like, I got some of these here. These here are FKM O-rings. They're harder than these, and these. These here I'll use sometimes when I can. You just can't stretch these. You stretch them to try to fit them over something, they break. All right, so stay away from your FKM. And if you ever have to order O-rings, order the 70 durometer. Now, some of these ones that I got hanging over here might not be 70 durometer. I think these are 60. They're a little bit softer. But that's okay. They're still good. They're MBR rubber. Okay? You just don't want anything harder than a 70 because you want to be able to stretch it. Okay, and I got these O-rings here. Like here, this here O-ring. I had a guy, see, let me come back. See this here? You Zama guys out there need a main seal. I had a guy that I sold a tall Zama pipe lighter to. He from Germany. He says, Doug, he says it's leaking, and when he did a little video on it, I thought to myself, that's leaking quite a bit. He's got a bad main seal. Okay? So this is what I use for a main seal on a Zama lighter right here. This is what you want. And you say, well, main seal. You say, well, what's a main seal on a Zama? Well, let me show you what a main seal is on a Zama. You get some of this stuff off of here. I got it right there. Let me get a tweezers. You guys see this here? This is the main orifice in the middle. Let me show you. You see that tube right there, that hole there? This here goes down inside it, and there's a seal on the bottom. And that's the main seal. If that thing leaks, it doesn't matter. As soon as you put butane in the lighter, it's going to blow right past that seal. Okay, so this is the seal that I use for that particular. I don't know how many. I think I ordered 1,000 of these. I don't know why I ordered 1,000, but I got more than I'll ever need. But that seal goes here on the back. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a perfect seal for this Zama type lighter. So I put another seal on it. When I took the seal off of that guy that sent me his lighter, I measured it. It measured 4.91 or something. And I thought to myself, that ain't right. That's got to be at least a 5.1 or 2, to seal, because these here valves itself. Let me take this seal off of here. This valve itself is, let's see here. Okay. See that? 4.91? That's the outside diameter of the valve. The seal on there's got to be at least a 5.1 or 2. I think I used a 5.3 at one time. But when I measured the seal that was on that Zama lighter he sent back, it was like 4.91. So it isn't a wonder that it was blowing butane past this valve here. So I end up putting this on here, which this has a external 5.5, and it's sealed. But when you're putting these in, I tell you what, though, when you're putting them in, you have to be aware, and I found this out about these. I want to show you here. Now, let me get my pointer out here. You see this pipe right here, guys? This pipe comes out of this main seal area and goes up this tube where your flame valve is. Now, what you have to be careful of on this pipe, if it protrudes in here too far, okay, if it protrudes past the inside where that seal sits, when you push that orifice down in there, it could cut that O-ring. I've actually had to get in here, and I've had to take these, and I have to take a tool and I have to push at it a little bit just to clear, because that tube's a little sharp. It can be sharp in here. It can cut your O-ring. So when you push down, you kind of like maybe tilt that to where that it's like that, push it down in, but you have to be careful. Once you get done pushing it down in there, you want to get it light. You want to make sure there ain't a piece of little O-ring or something in there, But anyway, somebody ring the doorbell. My wife's chattering to somebody. I don't know who it is, but anyway. Anyway, that's just little tricks that you learn after just repairing 20 or 30 lighters or whatever, I'll tell you what, guys, you never quit learning doing this type of stuff, because there's so many different variations of lighters and different mechanisms and stuff. You never, ever, ever quit learning. Matter of fact, I had a lighter here, been sitting here for quite a while. This is the last one of these I got. I really don't think I want to sell it either. This is what they call a Safa. This is a matted finish. Safa 21 lighter. Made in Italy. Serial numbered. They made these in the 70s, maybe up to about 1980, I'm guessing. So you're looking at a 45-year-old lighter here. This one was new in a box. Yeah, it's got some little, wear from being moved around in the box or whatever. But it's basically a brand new lighter. And I've taken these lighters and I convert them into pipe lighter because they usually have a vertical flame. But these lighters are a quality lighter because you put a flint in it by turning it that way. You can see the flint down there. And this lighter has a little function in it. Watch this. When I close this lid here, see, it turns the gas back on. There's a little mechanism underneath here that pushes down and stops the gas from coming out, so you can change your flint. But these are, I would say, when it comes to a durable lighter, this is it. And I want to show you why. I'm going to touch on a little variety of a little bit of everything here, and I don't even know because I don't have any plans. Something pops up, I touch on it. And this is, like I said, Safa 21. This is my parts kit for Safa 21 lighters. And I needed to make a part so I can put a valve down in here and I can tap it out and I'd have the bottom parts come out. But I want to show you something here. Look at this. This is the same. This lighter here it's a built exactly the same. Now the outside on this is different. Okay, it's a different type of lighter. See the lid here? All right. It's a different type of lighter. But I want you to see something here. Look at this. This is a solid brass construction here, folks. I cut this apart so I can use it as a tool. All right. And this is actually the part that I use for the tool. But look at this. This is brass. I don't know how this is made. Was injection molded or something? I don't know how it's done. But I've got one of these lighters like this that is in this case here. That's been used. It's been used. The silver plating's wore off. You can see brass around the corners. Got a little ding here on the cap right here and a ding right here. I don't know if you can see it or not. But this lighter's been sitting in there for months. Look at that. This is at least probably a 45, 50-year-old lighter. And it works even though it's been... I need to turn that valve a little bit. Even though it's... let's put it this way. This lighter will last another 50 years. You can drop this lighter. It's just so solid. You can drop this lighter. Look at this. I don't know anybody that makes a lighter like this nowadays. That lighter's the same, built the exact same. This manufacturer, it's out. They don't make this no more. And here's one. The body's still good. but it's got the cap's loose. See how loose the cap is here? So I presume it's, I don't know, but the body's still good on it. If I want to waste my parts, I can get this lighter to run. This here lighter is actually was silver plated, but it's got brass showing through right here. It's been handled so much you can still see some silver plate on the bottom. I had a lighter like this that was gold. It was brand new, that I converted into a pipe lighter and sold it to a guy on eBay for $200, and he was happy. He was very, very happy with it. And I got a variety of parts here to go, filler valves. But this lighter here, I just keep it in there. So easy to put a flint in it. Probably the most durable lighter that I've ever come across. I never, I had about, I think I had 15 or so of these I ordered from a friend of mine over in, his dad had a lighter's shop, pipe shop, and I asked him if he had any Safa 21s. Good Lord. I just bought the good ones. I think I bought, 11 of them? 11 of them, I think. 11 or 12. I don't know what it was. And then he had some used ones, too. I just bought the, new ones that had, the case in them. This here's basically a brand new lighter. Got a little mark right there on top. You can see that. But if you bought this, you're a 20-year-old pipe smoker, when you're 80, 100 years old, if you live that long, this lighter will still be going. That's how durable these things are. I need to turn my valve on that, I think. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. I don't want to sell that. Somebody will probably want it. I'll end up selling it. But there's an old Ronson lighter. Just a standard vertical flame. Just sitting here. It's got a little, I don't know if you can see on the inside of the cap there, but it's got it's like somebody scratched the necks into it. Other than that, this thing's a beauty. Like a chrome basket weave design. Says Ronson right there. But anyway, O-rings. Guys, when it comes to O-rings, the more you got, the better. Just the most used ones I got are these small ones that's right there. Okay. Then these here I got in, I got these labeled. You can see here that where this is a 1.1, this is 3mm OD, this is a, let's see, 1.5 to 2, yeah, this is a 3.5mm OD. Okay, that's double that, then add this, that's a 3.5mm OD. So before, I was going, let's see, this is all I had here. So this is the one, and like I was saying, this is the 1.5. That's what I had to jump, from this one to the 1.5. But now they had the 1.25, and they had the 1.15. Then they had one a little lower. It's got a little bit bigger cord, but it's smaller. So they've actually, O-Rings and More actually has more variety of these smaller O-Rings now. So that's good. That's good. They're quality O-Rings too. One thing about order from O-Rings and More. You're going to get quality O-Rings. It's easy to order. You can get on their website, you know. This is what I got. This is, like I said, a 1x1. Goes up to 2.8. Then I got another batch down here. And it goes up, you know, all the way up to these O-rings here, which you use to put on your filler valves. Okay. You won't use very many of them. I usually stretch like a 4 or a 5 to stretch them a little bit. All right. Now, when it comes to you guys out there too, sponges, I get these sponges off eBay. And they got these come in handy too, these little brass. This is what usually on some lighters, they got one of these little brass washers here that fit over the sponge, so when you're turning your flame adjustment screw, it turns on the brass, not on your sponge. It turns on your sponge, it could cut your sponge, but it turns on the brass, and as the brass pushes down on the sponge. So these are handy to have. You can get these off eBay. And I got all these too. These here are actually made for Dunhill roller gas, but I cut them down a little bit because otherwise I might cut the, let's see, which one did I use? I might use this one for the Dunhill roller gas. I'm not sure, but these are a little thicker. I might cut the green part off and just use the white. And the reason that is it all depends on your maximum, your bottom flame adjustment screw on your Dunhill roller gas. The screw might protrude out a little bit if you use too thick of a sponge. So you have to kind of keep that in mind as well. So these are what I use on the sponges. These are actually, I call them sponge, but technically they're flame regulators. Okay, they regulate the height of your flame, and how it does that is it's like a sponge. It's got little bitty holes. It's patented. It's got little bitty holes in it. When you compress it, less gas comes out of it. But when you open it up, more gas comes through. It's just that simple. So, you know, so anyway, guys, when it comes to O-rings, remember that you got to, you know, you got to have a variety of O-rings. That's just all there is to it. You got to have a good variety of O-rings. People, and you say, well, you know, how many O-rings do I have to have? Well, the more the merrier. Just don't get none of them FKM O-rings. Make sure you get some of this cord too, like this. I use this cord for making stoppers, like in my Zima lighter. Say, for instance, I don't know if I got a valve here that I can see, but there's little stoppers in there that are inside them Zima valves. And it's easier to cut one of these, you know, with a razor blade and replace the stopper that's already in there. So that's what I use that for. This has made my life so much easier. Actually, before I found these stoppers, like here, T rubber stoppers, plugs. Let's see if you can see them. I think you can see them. Before I found these, I used to use some of this cord and cut them off, then I would get my punch out, and I would punch a piece of a flat piece of Buna grade rubber, and I'd super glue this on as a tail to make one of these. This here's made my life so much easier here as well. This is it. These are worth having. I try to buy enough where because a lot of this stuff comes from China. I try to buy enough of this stuff where, if I can't get them, I don't have to worry about it. And I'll tell you another thing you want to have too, for you guys out there repairing lighters, get some of these E-clips. These are washers here, but you see these down here, these little they're called E-clips. See how the different sizes I got? Big, on down. I'll probably never use these. The ones that I use the most will probably be this size here and this size here. This is the size here that if you've got I think, what is this? I don't know the size, 1 millimeter. This is the size that you want to use here for like your Calibri pin lighters. Long ones where you pull it and flick it. There's a little one of these down in there, and if this is missing, if you lose it, your lighter won't work. So that's why I bought some of these, and I got some washers here I can use as spacers. All right, then this here, these here are washers for needle valve and Dunhill roller gas, which they can be used in other lighters as well. So you got to have a variety of stuff, because I've got stuck on lighters just not having the things that I need. Had to sit around and order something and wait for 2 weeks. You order something from China, it takes you 2 weeks to get here. You just you don't get it overnight. So there's a little bit of a variety of everything, I got this here out of China. This here is what I use if I have to solder a metal tank. I'm just going to go over something very simple as far as tanks and something to that effect, so I can give you an idea and a little bit of clue about soldering technique. Some of this stuff I might mention before, but somebody might not see it on other places. But usually a lot of these lighters, they'll have some of them will have internal metal tanks, and I've come across them, especially on Flaminaire. This is a Flaminaire F12 tank. You see, there's the part around here is gone. You can see where I soldered some around here. This part here on top soldered inside the tank. Well, I've gotten these to where let me find my little pointer. I've gotten these lighters, and next thing you know, we got a little leak right here. All right. You think like, oh man. But I'll tell you what, beforehand, I was using a big torch. I was putting flame on too much. and I was getting so hot. So once I got it soldered here, then I had a leak over here, or I had a leak down here in the bottom around this area, or I had a leak around this area here. So what I would do to save myself a lot of misery is that, say for instance, I had a leak right here. All right. What I would do is I'd sand that down. Okay. Just don't sand any more area than you have to. Just sand the area down where you got a leak. Get your little cotton swab and put some of the tinning and some of the cleaner on there, you know, right there in that area. Then I'd drop right there, I'd drop a piece of lead or solder right there. And what I would do is, of course, I'd have this in a vise. And what I would do is I'd heat that. As soon as that melted, take the heat off of it. Okay, before I was heating it up, then touching it, heating it up, and touching it to find out if it's hot enough. But this way here, when that melts, you know you're done. Keep any more heat on that, and you might end up developing a leak all the way around this. Man, I'll tell you what, now listen, folks, this is good advice because I learned this the hard way. That's the best way to do that. You know, I mean, if you only got a little pinhole, you don't need that much solder either, okay? I just cut that little piece off. If you only got a small little bitty hole, then, cut half of that off or a third of it, I would probably, you want a little bit, but you don't have to overdo it. That's all I'm trying to say is, and just heat up the metal tank, because you got to remember that metal tank's going to hold heat. You don't want to put any more heat on it than it just needed to melt that to get it down in there to stop that leak. But the one thing about this is you can fix these. Yeah, these are repairable. But you get a plastic tank, forget it. You got a crack in it, you're done. It's history. So anyway, that's that. I've got a few parts here for Flints F12s. There's the main valve system actually goes on top of this tank. That's the internal part. This is a brand new thumb roller. Anyway, I don't know why I keep that tank around, but I do. Keep anything, if you think you might use it, keep it around. If it's, you got, you can only keep so many springs too, guys. If you got 100 springs is the same, you might only have to keep a few of them. But anyway, if you want to know a good soldering system, that Hacko over there I got, that's a good system over there. Very good system. But I think that's pretty much it, As far as tools go, always got to have your metal brush. I'm gonna have to retire this one. Something, to brush minor flakes or something off. Then some tools I've modified here. Then some other tools I've made. I use them once in a while. That tool I cut off trying to make a tool, but it didn't work. I got a tool right here. I ordered, I think this tool cost me $20-some, $25. You think, man, $25. What is that? Well, look at this. This is a specialty tool here, folks. You got to have this tool for working on for working on a Cartier lighter. Okay, it's got these little bitty freaking valves in them that you got to take out. Matter of fact, I think I got them right here. I keep them here with the tools. You see that little Cartier valve right there? You got to have that to grab a hold of that right there at the end. Because this is down in, you just can't pull these out because he's got a rubber seal around them. So you have to have that tool. And believe you me, I'm not going to spend money on a tool unless I absolutely got to have it. And it's going to make my life easier. I want to show you here. You see that valve there? That valve kind of sits down recessed. Alright. But you got to have something to get in there and get a hold of it and to pull it out. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but look at that. That's a fine piece, and it grabs a hold of it where you can pull it out. Yeah, I ordered these from China too. I ordered 3 of them or so. I don't hardly work on them Cartier lighters, but if I ever have to, I got tools I'm going to need to work on it. I'm going to have it. So, good thing about that. I ordered, other specific tools as well. Guys, if you want to work on your lighter, I do these videos to help you guys so you can work on your own lighter. But man, guys, there comes a point where you're when it's like this, drill bits, tubing, extra tool there, probably never use. Little threading tools here for like measuring the size of your screw and maybe tapping it out for a certain screw. Flints. Just a little bit of everything. That's not even counting all this stuff I got here for roller gas, dunghill repair parts and Ronson valves, tools, and then just a little Boona rubber here for punching out pieces of rubber, little small parts. There, I keep all them small parts. There's some more small parts. These all came off individual lighters. These are filler valve caps that are threaded, Then you got other parts here, other small parts. And I made, well, I don't use this one. No, I cut that off already. Then there's other lighter parts down in here. Then you can go up here and you know, lighter parts here, and, you know, more parts. It's just so much. I've kept these. I could work on these to get these going. These are pipe layers. They don't look perfect, but I can get them to work. But I'm just kind of saving them around for parts for now. I might get them going later sometime. Sell them. I don't know. But anyway, O-rings. I'm just gonna title this O-rings and various other topics, but the main thing you got to do in this is patience and the right tool, you know. And I'll tell you what, if you got a good Dremel tool around, you can probably make what you need just to get by. But if you got a specialty lighter, you know, like a Flaminator F12, like I just showed you that tank for, I had to make a specific tool just for that particular lighter by itself, and that's what this tool is for. And it's to pop out the center pressed in valve so I can replace it. And plus I made this for another device as well, you know. I can't remember. Never have enough tools. There's a nice handy little thing that you can make, you know. You can see these at the smoke shop, you know. You can get these little refillable butanes to take with you, say like if you guys are taking your butane lighter out, you know, and you're camping or something, you don't want to run out of fluid, you can just take this. But what I did is I modified this one here and put a refillable filler valve in there, you know. That way, you know, you don't have to take a big can like this. Let's see if I can fill that up. I don't know. I don't have very much. I've got a little butane left in this big can, but I want to show you something while I got it here. You see how that's just dripping in there? Ain't wanting to go any higher. Well, this happens to your lighter as well. And that's because there's air in here. Let me show you something here. Alright, let's try this again. See that? Now you got a stream of butane coming out of there. Right there you go. Same thing happens to your lighter. You guys got torch lighters out there? And you get a bunch of air in there, your torch lighter just ain't gonna work. You know, bleed that tank. All you gotta do is just bleed some air out of it. And not only that, you know, your lighter will work a lot better. Not only that, it'll run twice as long because you got actually more liquid butane in there than whereas before you just had air. So that's the way to do that. See, I always keep a little bit of rubber on there, like when I'm filling up to keep things from leaking. Anyway, this is a good torch. I got this off of AliExpress for like 16 bucks. You can buy the Japanese version for like 30. But this thing here, never had a trouble. The only thing is this here. See how your flame is? You know, you can make sure that there is right over them holes there, so it gets the right amount of air. Otherwise, you don't have a flame like you want. Good. This is a good torch. All right, guys, I'm going off. Oh, guys, well, I got some messages here I couldn't see. Let me see here what I got going here. My uncle had one of those. He used them for crack. Oh, man. Can you say Blue Label Una Delicia? Yeah. Can you say Blue Label Una Delicia? Okay. Yeah, I got a deep voice. Does the length of the flint matter? Pedro, I don't think it will matter, because not all flint chambers are going to be the same size, okay? I don't know if I can open this one up, but it will matter. But most generally, there are specific size. Like these flints here I got, these are for Dunhill roller gases here. They're larger in diameter. This is what you would be similar to a Dunhill red flint, where Dunhill does have a blue flint too, which is like a Zippo type flint, okay? I did have a lighter that I couldn't get a regular flint into, but the only ones I have at the moment are these ones here. I can't even get these no more, so I don't really sell them. I put one every time I repair a lighter. I do put one into it, but these are the premium flints here. What is it? Argumental. These come out of Austria. Yeah, these come out of Austria here. There's 100 flints in there. And these are made in Austria. Listen, you see how it says made in Austria? Right there? Well, if you ever look on the bottom of some original Dunhill red flints, it's going to say made in Austria, packed somewhere else, something to that effect. Well, company that makes these makes the Dunhill roller gas flints as well, okay? But you know what, guys? I sell these. I've only got enough for 3 more orders here. I got this partial, but this has got 50. I put 51 flints in each one of these. I tried to. Might be 50, or there could be. There's no more than 51 because that's about all you can get into it. But if you buy 10 flints, 9 flints, it comes in Dunhill flints. You're gonna pay about what? Maybe $10 to $20 for 9 flints. I got Dunhill flints right here. Here's what you got. You got 100 here for what is it, 16, 17, 18 bucks plus a couple dollars shipping. You got 100 flints. These are Japanese quality flints. These aren't Chinese quality. These are Japanese quality flints. Matter of fact, I had a lighter here, took these size flints, and I tried to mount it, and it was perfect. And I've sold, I don't know how many of them so far, 3 or 4 of them, as far as 300 or 400 of them, but I've only got those left. I'm just keeping these here with me. I think there's like 80 here. I'm keeping these in case I have work on somebody's Dunhill roller gas. I'll usually throw a flint or 2 in with it, or at least put a new one in the flint housing. But I would recommend if you do have a lighter that takes these bigger flints, I would recommend using them because I think it'll save your flint housing. Like let me show you. I think this lighter I got here. You see how this has got a split flint housing on it? I think that's from having using a smaller flint on these. I believe that takes the bigger flint as well. That's why I've kept this lighter back, because it's just a parts lighter. See the inside of it? Somebody scraped it all up. It's a nice lighter though. It still work if I fixed it up. But let's see what this one's got. This is another one. This has got a nice flint chamber here, flint housing. Let me see if I can open that up. Yeah, that takes a Dunhill size flint. That's what come out of there. So I recommend using them bigger flints inside these lighters that's able to handle it, you know. All right. I'll get in there. Let me get my little tweezer out. There you go. This is a Cleaver dual flame. It takes a downhill size flint. These are good flints. Anyway, color, don't worry about the color. You know, I just, when it comes to flints, Pedro, I wouldn't, be careful not to buy them Chinese flints, because I tried to find the article and I couldn't find it, but it had a composition, supposed to be ferrocerium, what do they call it, inside these, along with a little bit of magnesium or something. But Chinese flints could have plastic and some other stuff in it. So I would try to find, you know, these are Japanese-made flints. That's why I bought these. You know, I had a small bag of Chinese flints that I bought when I first bought flints. And I'll be honest with you, I just gave them to a guy. I must have had a couple hundred left, and I just gave them to him because, you know, they were sitting in there, and it was eventually just going to turn to powder. And I thought, well, if he wants to use them, that's fine. But, you know, I try to keep, you know, when you got a lighter, a really, really nice flint-fired lighter, you know, something like, you know, say you got something like this, you want to use good flints on it. You know, because this is a quality lighter here. Man, that's a beautiful lighter. If I was a pipe smoker, that'd be the lighter. I'd work that in the Flaminaire F12. These are probably some of the most robust lighters I've ever seen in my life right here. And these were made in the 70s, I think up to 1980. Solid brass. It's solid brass, folks. I don't know how they made it. It's like I tried to find a solder seam somewhere. There's nothing. I've showed earlier in my video, I've cut one of these down because I needed it for a part. And it's solid brass in there. It's like it's almost injection molded, but I don't know how they've done it. But, you know, and I got one sitting inside my case in there. It's got the finish wore off of it. It's got dings in the caps, and it still works just as good as the day it was brand new. But these are excellent quality lighters. I sell them. I've sold several of these as I converted them into wide flame cigar lighters, and I sold several. If you ever come across one of these and it's a pipe flame, I probably converted it. And the only way, I've only used two different types of valves. I've used the brass valve, and I've used the, okay, here's what I got. I think I've used a chrome. I think I've used a stainless steel valve, maybe in one. And I used a brass valve. And I've used, you know, there's some other valves I used that was looked like an ST DuPont valve. But look at them. I got 500 valves or so there, 300, 400 valves. Yeah, don't worry about the color. You know, everybody's going to have different colors. It's not going to make the difference, you know, as far as if the flint works or not. It's just an exterior coating, because the coating on the outside of these is to keep these will rust. These flints will rust because you're kind of like a mesh metal and stuff, you know, and they will rust. I think they use the coating on the outside of it too to keep the flint from decomposing. Because if you leave flints long enough in a bag, If you guys ever, they will decompose, you know, because you've guys seen them where your flint tube, you know, it gets stuck, the flint's, well, if you store it a long time and it gets wet and starts decomposing, then it can just be like, you can't remove it. You know, I got to take it apart and I got to drive it out and all that. Don't ever drill them out. Don't ever take these here. If you got a flint stuck in here because it's been in there too long, don't freaking drill it out, because it's just as, you'll drill out the inside of your flint housing. What you do is take this off, this flint housing, and you'll set the part flat down. You'll get like a 2.5 millimeter rod, which I get off of eBay, which is right here. And I'll stick it down on top of that, and I'll hit it with a hammer, and it'll just knock that old flint right out. You won't even have to drill it. All right, so I think that's probably about as good as it's going to get here for today. But any questions, guys, you know, just put a message down there, and we'll go from there. I'm going to try to figure out how to stop this. But appreciate you guys hanging in there. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.